Today we're going to dive into a shape that's, well, pretty much hiding in plain sight everywhere you look. I'm talking about the quadrilateral. From the phone in your hand to the windows in your room, these four-sided shapes are basically the building blocks of our world. So let's get into it. Chalo, let's start off with a little brain teaser, shall we? What do a book, a phone, a kite, and maybe a road sign all have in common? Just take a second to think about it. Got it? Well, the answer is the hero of our story today. Alright, so let's start with the absolute basics. What exactly is a quadrilateral? Before we can meet the whole family, we've got to have a proper introduction, right? Let's define this thing. But hang on, before we can even talk about quadrilaterals, we need to understand what family they belong to, and that family is called polygons. Now, a polygon is just any flat closed shape that's made of at least three straight sides. The most important words there are closed, meaning no gaps, okay? And straight sides, triangles, pentagons, hexagons, all of them are polygons. So how do our quadrilaterals fit into this picture? Well, they are just a special kind of polygon, a very specific one, with exactly four of everything. Four sides, four corners, which we call vertices, and four angles. The name itself is a huge clue. Quad comes from the Latin word for four. It's really that simple. Okay, now that we've got the main definition down, let's actually meet the different members of the quadrilateral family. There are 6 main types you should know, and just like any family, each one has its own personality, its own special set of rules. First up, we've got the trapezium. Its main thing is super simple. It has exactly one pair of sides that are parallel to each other. The other two sides, well, they can do whatever they want, go in any direction. This is what gives it that classic shape you might see in a handbag or some funky lampshades. Next on the list is the parallelogram. Now this shape is a little more, let's say, disciplined. With this one, both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and they're also equal in length. This strict structure is what makes it so useful in things like engineering and mechanical parts that need to move but stay stable. And now for a shape we all know and love, the rectangle, the superstar of books, doors and screens. So, what's its defining feature? All four of its angles are perfect 90-degree right angles, and that's exactly what makes it so easy to build with, so stable. No wonder we use it for everything. Now, let's check out the rhombus. Its key property is that all four of its sides are equal in length. The easiest way to picture it, just think of a square that's been kind of tilted or pushed over a little bit. It's got this perfect symmetry, which is probably why you see it so often in patterns like on tiles or in jewelry designs. And this brings us to the square, the absolute all-rounder of the quadrilateral family. Why? Because it literally combines the best of both worlds. It has four equal sides, just like a rhombus, and it has four 90-degree angles, just like a rectangle. It's the most regular, the most perfect, and the most stable of them all. And last but not the least, we have the kite. This one has a really unique property. It has two pairs of equal length sides that are adjacent, which just means they are next to each other. So the two top sides are equal and the two bottom sides are equal. And this exact design is what helps a real kite catch the wind and fly so well. Okay, so we've met all the individual family members. Now, let's talk about the fundamental, unbreakable rules that apply to all quadrilaterals, no matter what they're called or what they look like.
Think of these as the laws of their universe. Here it is. The one magic number you absolutely have to remember for quadrilaterals, 360 degrees. It doesn't matter what kind of quadrilateral you have, a perfect square, a flying kite, or some weird lopsided trapezium. If you add up its 4 inside angles, the sum will always be exactly 360 degrees. And you know what? There's a really simple proof for this that works for any polygon. The formula is n-2 times 180, where n is just the number of sides. So for a quadrilateral, n is 4. That means we have 4 minus 2 times 180, which is just 2 times 180, which gives us 360. See, the math works out perfectly. And here's a fantastic way to picture this rule. Imagine you could physically tear off the 4 corners of any quadrilateral and then fit their pointy bits together. You know what? You'd get a perfect circle. And since we all know a circle is 360 degrees, it just proves our rule. Pretty cool, right? The other big rule has to do with diagonals. Those are the lines that you draw to connect opposite corners, and how they behave can actually tell what kind of shape you're looking at. So in a parallelogram, the diagonals cut each other exactly in half. For rectangles and squares, the diagonals are the exact same length. And in a rhombus or a kite, they cross each other at a perfect 90-degree right angle. Alright, let's get a bit more practical. We know what these shapes are, we know their rules, but how do we actually, measure them? This is where formulas become our best friends. First up, let's talk about the perimeter. And I have good news, this one is super simple. The perimeter is just the total distance around the outside of the shape. To find it for any quadrilateral, you just add up the lengths of all 4 sides. That's it. P is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. Easy and actually makes sense because if you slice a triangle off one side and stick it on the other, you've basically made a rectangle. Every formula is just a clever little trick to measure that space inside. So after all this theory, why does any of this actually matter? Because these shapes aren't just stuck in your textbook, are they? They are the fundamental building blocks of the world that we've designed and built all around us. Seriously, once you start looking, you just can't stop seeing them. Your phone is a rectangle because it's the perfect shape to hold a screen. A chessboard is a square to make sure the game is fair with equal spaces for everyone. That diamond-shaped road sign? It's a rhombus designed to stand out. Even something as simple as a bucket is a trapezium, wider at the top, so it's easier to fill. Okay, before we finish up, let's just do a quick review of 4 important terms. Adjacent sides are 2 sides that share a corner, while opposite sides are, across from each other. Same idea with angles. Adjacent angles share a side, and opposite angles are on opposite corners. Getting this vocabulary right will help you describe any quadrilateral like a pro. So, there you have it. We've basically explored the entire world of quadrilaterals, from what they are to their unbreakable rules and why they matter so much in the real world. You now understand some of the most basic building blocks of design and geometry. So, the only real question left is, now that you know the rules, what are you going to build with them?